A criminal investigation is soon to be launched into allegations that the United National Congress, while in government, was spying on citizens. The announcement from National Security Minister Stuart Young at a news conference today following the publication of a book by Cambridge Analytica whistleblower Christopher Wylie. Khrystal Wilson tells us more.
The senior Trinidad government contacts were offering SCL access to unredacted, de-anonymized census in the developing world. Privacy is a concern usually reserved for the rich. Essentially, the Trinidadian government was violating the privacy of all its citizens in one swoop.
Minister of National Security Stuart Young said citizens of Trinidad and Tobago should be alarmed that the United National Congress might have used data mining to spy on citizens and track their behavior and personal preferences in the lead-up to the 2015 general elections. At a press conference on Wednesday, the National Security Minister revealed claims in a book written by former company data consultant Christopher Wylie, who named Trinidad and Tobago as one of the countries involved in the Cambridge Analytica scandal. In the publication, Mr. Wylie said the People's Partnership government allowed them access through this country's telecommunications servers to tap in to see citizens' smartphones and computers everywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Young read from Mr. Wylie's book.
They knew that if we built a tool to forecast behavior, they could use it in elections. They weren't just focused on future criminals. They also wanted to zero in on future political supporters.
After gaining access to all sorts of information, the discoveries were alarming.
People were browsing everything imaginable, including the culturally specific quote-unquote Trini porn. I can remember sitting around the computer one evening and watching as someone toggled between looking up plantain recipes and watching porn.
Minister Young said he has every reason to believe the data surveillance and gathering continue, and in light of this, the National Security Ministry is soon to launch an investigation into what is deemed criminal activity.
That I will be asking for the launch of criminal investigations into what has taken place, and parallel to that, along with the Office of the Attorney General, I will be seeking international recourse.
He said this was just the beginning, and now the National Security Ministry is prepared to see an end to these privacy violations. Minister Young said his ministry is also considering appointing a special prosecutor and investigator to assist in the matter. Khrystal Wilson, TTT News.
The United National Congress says it will explore its legal options against all persons involved in spreading what it describes as defamatory misinformation about Cambridge Analytica. In a media release, the UNC states unequivocally that none of the Cambridge Analytica stories are true. The UNC is calling on the members of the National Security Council to tell the country at what point they reported Mr. Wylie to the police for spying on Trinidad and Tobago. The UNC says, to date, Mr. Wylie has never clearly stated his role, and he has not named a single person in Trinidad with whom he was working or liaising, nor has he provided a shred of evidence or a report that he wrote for his alleged employers in Trinidad. The UNC is also asking for proof of a contract or check that proves that Mr. Wylie was hired and paid. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith says he has spoken to the Minister of National Security and he's awaiting the relevant files on Cambridge Analytica to begin an investigation.
Service, we do not have this, and when it is given, it is going to be immediately handed over to DCP Ford, and he will launch an investigation if warranted. At this time, again, we do not have the information. The minister has it. He has spoken to me, and if it is that DCP Ford, if he believes that it will warrant an investigation based on possible criminal offences having taken place, the Tobago Police Service would do so.
Give an idea as to how the investigation would be conducted.
It may involve several different arms in the Tobago Police Service, and we would be looking at from the cybercrime unit and other units dealing with this type of activity. But again, I wouldn't want to state much more until we actually get the documents, and it will be handed over to DCP Ford for investigation.
Commissioner Griffith was asked if he had known about the invasion of privacy as he was the Minister of National Security under the People's Partnership government, but he said he did not know about the incident.